Good morning. Coming to you from my mom and dad's backyard here in Jacksonville, Florida. I've been over here teaching a concealed weapons class yesterday. Decided to take some time to visit with them because, quite frankly, I don't get enough of it. And Mama still cooks good. We had Brunswick stew last night and it was delicious. I want to talk to y'all about my NRA certification. There's a couple of things it allows me to do legitimately. Number one, my certification to teach NRA classes is valid in all 50 states. As long as I comply with the local laws and state laws, I can go to any state in the country and teach these classes. What it allows me to do in my home state of Florida is to teach a legitimate concealed weapons class where I can give you a certificate and you can take it in, send it in, mail it in, whatever works best for you, and obtain your concealed weapons permit. Second thing that it allows me to do legitimately: NRA basic pistol, basic rifle, and basic shotgun will meet the field day requirement, any one of those three, for obtaining your hunter safety card. You still have to do the online portion, but having the certificate, NRA certificate, meets your field day requirement. It's a good morning. I get to sit out here and relax for a little bit before I have to drive back to Perry and drink coffee. Where a lot of people get into some scams is they think, well, I can go online and do a course and get my concealed weapons permit. Florida requires a live fire portion to this class. That means to sign off on you legally, I have to see that you can safely handle a firearm, which means it's going to be a live fire class. I know people try to skate by and use paintball guns and use pellet guns. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sign off on somebody that I do not know can handle a firearm. It's just the way it is. I'm not going to put myself in a position of liability. What we cover in the concealed weapons class is safety. We cover selection of a pistol, ammunition. We cover the laws in the state of Florida. I explained to you how to survive the aftermath of a shooting, how to deal with law enforcement when you're carrying, where we don't have a situation turn bad. As far as the hunter safety end of it, it requires, again, a live fire portion to say that you can safely handle a firearm. Rifle, shotgun, or pistol, any one of those will meet that requirement. It must be an NRA approved class. So that means I teach it out of the NRA books. It means that it's a little bit more expensive than the concealed weapons class, because I have to cover the cost of their material. A lot of my classes are geared towards somebody who has never handled a firearm. If you're just a person that has never been exposed to them, never been around them, never shot, I'm probably the guy that you want to train with. Yes, I can teach advanced stuff. I can teach some really advanced stuff if you want to, if that's what you're into. But first we're going to learn the fundamentals, and we're going to learn how to safely and accurately and effectively handle a firearm. There's only 2 subjects that I do not teach commercially because of liability reasons. One of them is black powder. I will not teach that commercially because of liability reasons. And it's easy for somebody to get themselves into trouble with black powder guns. Not because they're inherently more dangerous, but they do require a little bit more knowledge. The second one is hand loading. Even though I am expert at hand loading, bullet casting, I do not teach that commercially. Number one, to move all the equipment around and to teach that as a commercial class is a pain, and there's no profit in it. What I will do on those 2 subjects, if you're a personal friend, an acquaintance, somebody I know, get up with me. We'll get the black powder guns out. We'll go off someplace where we can safely shoot them, where we can learn to load them, understand our powder, bullet, primer, and the like. Again, with the hand loading, if you're a personal friend, acquaintance, somebody I know, and you want to learn about hand loading, get a hold of me. Hey, we'll go out back to my shop and I'll show you how to load your own ammunition. The reason I will do this for people that I know personally, not at a profit to myself, if you want to make a donation to the cause, feel free to, is simply the inherent liability when you mess with this stuff. Other than that, rifle, pistol, shotgun, self-defense type courses, working on a curriculum for sub guns, active shooter, counter carjacking, all that stuff I teach. And I can teach anybody from a beginner on up to your most advanced student. Some of the guys that learn from me have some pretty interesting jobs. And on the same spectrum, I also enjoy teaching people that have no prior experience from a firearm. I really enjoy teaching people that are anti-gun because they're ignorant. Understand, I'm not using that in a derogatory term. They just had no exposure to it. They don't even understand really the basic concepts of firearm safety. I enjoy imparting that knowledge. And what they find out is, hey, now I can safely handle this gun. And we get on the range maybe with some 22 rifles or 22 pistols, and all of a sudden this is fun to them. And we see how small a target we can hit, how tight a group we can hit. And I really enjoy seeing people light up and learn something that they didn't know before. Anyway, that's kind of where I wanted to go with this video. I'd made a couple of other ones that kind of showed a little bit of my hot temper, although it was a mild dose. And I'd made some comments to people about basically being armchair wannabe barnyard commandos. Well, there's still some of those. And I know people on the internet are going to talk trash because that's what they do. But rather than taking the time to talk trash and refer to me as a fat boy, yes, I know I am. But this fat boy puts a lot more rounds down range than probably a lot of other people. Then maybe they'd be better off taking their time and getting out and working with new shooters. You know, you can't certify them for a concealed weapons permit, but you can always take a little time and help your friends and your neighbors. Take them out to a range and go shoot and enjoy a .22 pistol. It's a very pleasurable experience because you don't have a loud roar. You have that little pop. And you see the satisfying hole in the X-ring if you do it right. Well, I'm fixing to get ready to head back to Perry. I've got about a 2.5 hour drive ahead of me. Later on.